Shoppers rush for the deal. First tonight, Super Value teams up with the Agriculture Ministry to crack down on high egg prices. We'll tell you the new partnership making eggs more affordable and for how long. Plus, gunmen opened fire on a crowd as 4 shot in a quadruple attack. Police recover the getaway car, but the shooters still on the run. And honoring a legacy. She shaped generations, and now her family and former students sharing heartfelt memories. We speak to the children of veteran educator Cleomie E. Woods about her lasting impact. Then in Our News at 7:30, millions spent and millions more on the way. The Davis administration has already used more than half its travel budget and now wants to shift even more cash. Opposition critics calling it reckless. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. The price of eggs is on the decline thanks to a new partnership with the Agriculture Ministry and one of the largest supermarket chains in the country. The news prompted scores of shoppers to cash in on the deeply discounted poultry product. Our Joshua Williams was at their Golden Gates location. He gets us started tonight.
Shoppers at Super Value Golden Gates rushing to get their hands on these eggs. Egg prices have jumped to all-time highs due in part to an outbreak of avian flu, or bird flu, that has been afflicting egg-laying hens in the U.S. since 2022. Over the past 3 years, about 166 million birds have been affected by the deadly avian flu, according to the U.S. Agriculture Department. What's happening in the North American country is also impacting prices here in the Bahamas. A dozen eggs that were at one point over $10 now going for $3.79 before adding value-added tax. I spoke to some of those shoppers who were the first to get their hands on the eggs, like this pastry chef who says it will help cut the costs of doing business.
We would use more of the eggs, more so than a regular or savory chef. This right now is just for my house, so this isn't even. I'm hoping to come back and actually get a case. I don't know if they have a limit on what you can get here now.
These two shoppers say they buy eggs frequently, adding that the last few months have been rough.
With eggs, it helps people to be able to eat something instead of nothing. You know, it's really hard. It's a struggle in this country.
$3.79? First time I've seen in my life. Eggs, when eggs goes up to $20, $24. Right now, I think this is a good thing.
So what's behind the drastic drop? A partnership between the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources and Super Value. A part of that partnership is also sourcing eggs from outside the United States.
Reference to sourcing some eggs from some other areas who we've been trading with for a number of years. And we would have placed them in the hands of BASPA, who was in charge of all of those safety concerns, meeting all the requisite protocols and everything else.
And with Super Value being one of the largest food store operators in the country, they say they understand the burden the cost of living has put on consumers.
We're going to be able to offer the public a significant reduction in the price of eggs. And when I say significant, it's going to be less than half of the price that we're offering now.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that, Josh. 3 men and a teen in hospital after they were hit by a hail of bullets during a quadruple shooting on Sunday. The victims, ages 27, 24, 21, and 16, were shot in the Blue Hill Road South area. The ordeal, according to police, unfolded just before 6 p.m. as a group of people gathered outside an apartment complex. Police say that's when the occupants of a black Japanese car pulled up. 2 men jumped out, opened fire on the crowd before jumping back in the car and speeding off. Now, the 4 victims were taken to hospital in private cars. We're told that their condition is currently listed as stable. Police able to recover the car used to carry out the crime, but they are still searching for those 2 gunmen. And a man accused of 2 murders, 2 attempted murders and an armed robbery will be granted bail if his trial doesn't begin in May. A judge has ruled as much as Brahim Charlton has been in custody since August 2021. Justice Neil Brathwaite ruled that it would not be just to further detain Charlton if his trial does not proceed through no fault of his own. He's accused of the August 9, 2021 murder of Dino Brown and the attempted murder of Dennis Bowles. The men ambushed by gunmen who emerged from a gray SUV in front of a home off Marshall Road. Charlton is also accused of killing immigration officer Lanisha Armbrister and trying to kill Drazen Dean. Armbruster was killed when gunmen opened fire on their vehicle on August 14, 2021 in Victoria Gardens. Charlton is also accused of robbing a man of the vehicle that was used in both shootings. University of the Bahamas kicked off Business Week Monday, and according to the Banking, Economics and Finance head of the department, Dr. Randy Forbes, says the week of events isn't just an event, but a platform for students to explore new ideas and unlock their potential, and gives the students the opportunity to connect with industry leads and create a pathway to the future. Forbes shared this.
I encourage you to make the most of this experience. Ask questions, share your perspectives, embrace the opportunity that this week has to offer. Together, we can unleash the potential and create new opportunities that will shape the future for business in the Bahamas and beyond.
PLP Senator Arisha Hepburn spoke on behalf of Economic Affairs Minister Michael Alkitis, who could not attend the ceremony Monday morning. She said with over $10 million allocated for the investment, government has many promising developments set to be rolled out, but she highlighted challenges that must first be overcome.
We are not alone in this. Globally, the shared struggles of developing and developed nations alike are well documented. Looming large is the triple transition of climate change, digitalization, and social justice. These three forces are predicted to be the greatest challenges all nations must face over the next decades.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Kenyon, and a happy Monday evening, everybody. A beautiful day around the islands. Temperatures cooling down. We have a front that moves through. It's in the southeast Bahamas. We'll show that in our satellite picture. But 72 is our current temperature on the outside with a few clouds. Winds out of the east-northeast at 15 miles per hour, so we have a slight breeze out there. Feels like temperature is at 70 degrees. Temperatures around the islands right now, it is 69s across in Freeport as well as in Marsh Harbour, Abaco, and you have some showers nearby. The Abaco is 72 in Alistown, Bimini, Nicholstown, Andros, Great Harbour Key here in the capital. Over in Governor's Harbour, 73. 73 also in Kemps Bay and Coburn Town, San Salvador. 74, Arthurstown, Cat Island, a pair of 75s in Georgetown, the Exumas, as well as in Deadman's Key. And in Duncantown, Ragged Island, 77, 75 in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay and Abrams Bay, all 76. 77 in Providenciales, Tricks and Caicos Islands, and Matthewtown, Inagua. You round out our temperature profile at 78. Satellite radar composite, frontal boundary now across the southeast Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands, as well as the Inagua, possibly even the Maguana area, seeing some cloudy conditions, as well as some showers with this front. That front will continue to exit the area. High pressure and a dry air mass is building across us. That high will be with us until about Wednesday, but we do expect the front to get in here by that time. That will also continue to reinforce the conditions across our area that we've been having. Very nice conditions expected for the balance of the week. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, we've got league titles, personal best, program records. There's a lot coming from a busy weekend of NCAA Indoor Conference Champs.
Presents JITG Music Fest. New edition. Tony Braxton. DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live. Starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. Beanie Man. Escape. Coco Jones. Kem. Also, a special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest. March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.7 for
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. The NCAA Division I Indoor Conference Championships continued over the weekend, and Bahamian athletes were some of the biggest point winners for their respective programs. Let's get started in the Big East. DePaul's Demetrius Rolls saw his stellar weekend conclude with a conference title in the 60 meters. Rolls set a new program record in the prelims and returned to lower that and win the final in 6.73 seconds. In the Southern Conference, Brendan Vanderpool won the pole vault for the Samford Bulldogs. At the Conference USA Champs, Louisiana Tech sprint hurdler Oscar Smith shattered his previous program record with a time of 7.70 seconds to finish second in the 60-meter hurdles. Over in the Big 12, Antoine Andrews helped his Texas Tech Red Raiders to win their third straight conference title. Andrews placed second in the 60-meter hurdles in 7.56 seconds and third in the 60 meters in 6.63 seconds. In the Horizon League, Brandon Hutchinson of Youngstown State helped the Penguins to their 10th consecutive title. Hutchinson finished second in the heptathlon with 4,594 points, the fifth most points in school history in the event. Coach Yo, Rima Collins and Ole Miss pulled off a statement win in their regular season finale, their second win this season over opponent ranked in the top 10. A dominant 54-point second half led Ole Miss to an 85-77 win over the number 7 LSU Tigers Sunday on the road in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The JUCO basketball regular season is winding down and several Bahamian players are looking to lead their teams into their respective conference tourneys. Brent Moss and the number 16 ranked Barton County Community College Cougars are closing out the regular season in dominant fashion. Tyler Pinder and the Allen Community College Red Devils ended their regular season with a 112-86 win over Labette. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as Pope Francis remains in hospital amid a serious health battle. Plus, trade tensions rise as Canada vows a strong response to U.S. tariffs set to take effect tomorrow. And a night of firsts and big wins. Zoe Saldana breaks barriers with her historic Oscar win. When Our News returns.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Bulk up your business.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Pope Francis remains in hospital amid serious respiratory issues. The Vatican says Pope Francis suffered 2 episodes of acute respiratory insufficiency on Monday as he continues to battle double pneumonia in hospital. He was admitted to hospital on February 14th with a severe respiratory infection that led to other complications. Doctors performed 2 procedures to assess his air passages after he suffered an event similar to an asthma attack. The 87-year-old pontiff has been receiving non-invasive mechanical ventilation to aid his breathing. His prognosis remains guarded, meaning he's not yet out of danger. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says his government is ready to respond strongly and unequivocally if U.S. President Donald Trump imposes new tariffs this week. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick confirmed the tariffs on Canada and Mexico are set to take effect Tuesday, but said Trump may not enforce the full 25% rate. Lutnick added that both countries have done a reasonable job securing their borders with the U.S., but pointed to fentanyl smuggling as an ongoing concern. Trudeau pushed back, saying Canada is not a source of illegal fentanyl flowing into the United States. Meanwhile, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said Monday that her administration is waiting to see if Trump follows through on his threat to impose the 25% tariffs on Mexican imports. Her team is in constant talks with U.S. officials, and she may speak with Trump directly. Mexico argues it has done its part, deploying troops to curb migration, extraditing cartel leaders, and cracking down on drug labs. With border crossings at a record low, Sheinbaum says Mexico has a plan and will respond accordingly. And a car drove into a crowd of people in a western German city on Monday, killing at least 2 people, injuring several others, and overshadowing carnival celebrations in the region where police had been on alert for security attacks. Fiona Jones reports.
A car ploughed into a crowd in German city Mannheim on Monday, killing at least 2. The deadly incident overshadowed carnival celebrations in the region, where police had been on alert for attacks. Police spokesperson Stefan Wilhelm said several people were seriously injured. Police have detained the driver and said he acted alone, with no broader threat seen for the public. An eyewitness said people were lying on the ground at the scene and at least 2 people were being resuscitated, while local news site Mannheim 24 reported that a black car drove at high speed into a group of people travelling from the central Paradeplatz Square towards the city's landmark water tower. It was unclear whether the driver acted deliberately or if there was any connection to Germany's carnival celebrations. The annual event culminates on Rose Monday with a number of parades, although not in Mannheim. Security has been a key concern in Germany following a string of violent attacks in recent months. This includes deadly car rammings in Munich last month and Magdeburg in December, as well as a stabbing in Mannheim in May 2024.
And Zoe Saldana became the first American of Dominican origin to win an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Emilia Perez. Meanwhile, Sean Baker's Honora was the night's big winner, taking home Best Picture and Best Actress for Mikey Madison. Adrian Brody won Best Actor for The Brutalist, while Wicked scored wins for Costume and Production Design. The star-studded night, hosted by Conan O'Brien, brought Hollywood's award season to a close amid ongoing recovery from the Los Angeles wildfires. Speaking through tears, Saldana dedicated her win to her grandmother, who came to the United States in 1961 and celebrated her immigrant roots.
To my mom, my dad, and my sisters Marielle and Cicely. Everything brave, outrageous, and good that I've ever done in my life is because of you. My grandmother came to this country in 1961. I am a proud child of immigrant parents with dreams and dignity and hardworking hands, and I am the first American of Dominican origin to accept an Academy Award, and I know I will not be the last.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was March 3rd. Then in our news at 7:30, 1 month later, a Kemp Road Community Center struggles to rebuild. The founder pushing forward in her fight to restore hope. Plus, a former MP and his wife robbed at gunpoint. Now the man accused is on trial. Hear how a routine roadblock led to his arrest and what police say they found in his car. When our news returns.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision's actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th, only on RTV.
My name is Atreyu Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed I actually had intermittent on my services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area once I was able to make the switch.
Fourth with Joe. On this day in Bahamian history in 1776 was the Battle of Nassau. The two-day fight occurred during the American War of Independence and was the first naval assault of what would later become the United States Marines and the U.S. Navy. The raiding party was led by Commodore Isaac Hopkins, and the city of Nassau militia was led by Governor Montford Brown. The objective was to capture gunpowder and arms that had been sent from the colony of Virginia to Nassau by Governor Lord Dunmore. Then in 1958, the Royal Victoria Hotel located on Shirley Street was bombed with dynamite. Reports said terrorists threw several sticks of dynamite from a moving car at about midnight, blowing a huge hole in the dining room. No one was injured. Police blamed the attacks on racial and political agitators and said the terrorists aimed the bombs at 3 gas tanks in the hotel kitchen. A reward of £8,000 sterling was offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the terrorists. And finally, on this day in 1982, the Bahamas joined the Organization of American States as its 31st member. And guess what? 22 years ago today, Our News, formerly Cable 12 Newsbreak, signed on for the very first time. And since then, the news on the community channel has evolved from a 5-minute news block to a half-hour newscast, and now, just over 2 years ago, a full news hour. We want to recognize that moment and give a special hats off to all of our colleagues, past and present, who have helped build on the Our News legacy to become the news provider you already trust. And of course, we invite you to stay with us, as Our News is everywhere, always there when it counts. All right, Hot 91 and Our News also teaming up to get you to this year's Jazz in the Gardens, March 8th and 9th, featuring Lauryn Hill, New Edition, Tony Braxton, Beanie Man, and more. We started to tell you about it last week, and of course we'll continue to remind you about this because you've got to listen to Hot 91 weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the Jazz in the Gardens code phrase. Now, once you hear it, you got to head over to hot91fm.com or find the Music Media 242 app contest page to enter. Now, the winner is going to receive round-trip tickets, hotel, and concert tickets for you and a friend. So be sure and look out for the Our News team if you happen to be that winner, and tell us all about your experience. It's Jazz in the Gardens, the Flyaway promotion. All right, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, the Fox Foundation, and Zana Club, they've joined forces to rebuild the LJ Hilltop Community Center. The announcement came during a press conference held on the community center grounds. It comes after the center was destroyed by a fire in January, reducing it to rubble. Officials say reconstruction will begin as early as tomorrow. That's Tuesday, and is expected to take approximately 4 months to complete. BSGC Executive Chairman Dominic Stirrup and Fox Foundation founder Adriana Fox, they shared more about the partnership.
Bahamas Striping has been a part of the Kemp Road community from since it started. Laura Center burned down a few weeks ago. So we came up with the idea, let's do a 3P in the sense of we can help, we can use our resources, such as the Fox Foundation, and other companies I mentioned, to come together to help raise money to help rebuild this much needed program.
All right, and the center was certainly a pillar in the community. It provided shelter for those in need, a safe space for children, and was actually a base for a feeding program. They also cleaned clothes for the elderly in the community, for which the Zana Club donated washing detergent. Founder and CEO is Apostle Laura Taylor.
For thinking sufficient of us and the work that we do, that they would want to partner along with other persons to assist us in a timely getting back on our feet again. God bless all of you.
All right. Well, the recent passing of a veteran educator came as a shock to many. Former St. John's College principal Cleomie E. Woods touched the lives of countless students, and in honor of her impactful life, her community banded together to show their love and appreciation for her service and to celebrate her life. Our Bethany McDermott ends this half hour with a chat with her children about her legacy.
A community left grieving after veteran educator Cleomie E. Woods passed away on February 21st. As word of her passing spread, hundreds of tributes and condolences were posted on social media, with those who knew her recalling their interactions with her throughout the years. To the public, she was a veteran educator, but to her children, she was mom.
She was no nonsense. She required discipline. She required us to behave, be honest, respect her elders, be hardworking. She was a stickler for education and excellence. She required us to go to school, learn our lesson, as she would say.
Perigod says his mom lived a life dedicated to helping those around her. She was active in the Eastwood community, where she was president of the Homeowners Association for 15 years.
The day of her passing, she had done her typical morning devotion. She sent them out to hundreds of different people across the country and outside the country. She went for her daily walk that morning, and she came back home and she prepared soup that she was going to distribute to the different neighbors around the area.
Her work did not go unnoticed. Last month, the pavilion at the Eastwood Community Park was named in her honor.
It was, like I say, bittersweet, although mostly sweet, but I mean bittersweet because we would now be reminded that she's no longer here with us in an earthly form, but it really was sweet to see the community rally around her.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks so much for that story, Berthany. If you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. It's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is our Talia Hall. She's got the latest headlines. Happy Monday,
Happy
Talia.
Monday again. Feels like we're back here again. Sometimes the weekend just feels like 2 minutes, but
Listen,
hey.
You know, and I was able to have Friday off. You know, I generally don't get Friday off, but I will tell you that I tried to make the best of it.
Yeah.
Those drinks we talked about. I had plenty.
I'm happy you enjoyed. And guess what? This Friday, it's my turn.
You're right. You're right.
Well, coming up, thanks so much, Ken. Coming up, a Kemp Road Community Center struggles to rebuild, plus a former MP and his wife robbed at gunpoint. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, the Davis administration has already burned through more than half of its travel budget just 6 months into the fiscal year. F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands say the spending is reckless. Our Berthany McDermott has the story. Also, for decades, the U.S. held the position as a global leader, shaping economic policies worldwide. But RF Bank and Trust David Slatter says since President Donald Trump took office, there's been a noticeable shift. He talks about the implications this can have on the Bahamas straight ahead. Plus, a quiet Sunday afternoon took a violent turn for a 63-year-old woman in Grand Bahama who was abducted and stabbed by someone she knew. The suspect now in custody as police continue their investigations. We have the latest. And later, 1 month after a devastating fire destroyed a community center in Kemp Road, the road to recovery is challenging. Our Delvado Emmanuel spoke with the center founder, who's determined to push forward despite the hardships. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Once I had a girl, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cleomie town.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies?
Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. For the first 6 months of the fiscal year, the Davis administration spent more than half of its travel budget for the year. And that's not all. As our Berthany McDermott tells us, they're also looking to reallocate $2 million to the Office of the Prime Minister's travel budget. The spending has raised eyebrows. Among the critics is Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands, who says it's reckless. He's calling on government to reevaluate its priorities.
I think this is reckless spending, okay?
That's how Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands is describing travel spending for the first 6 months of the year by the Davis administration. The mid-year budget report revealed that between July and December 2024, the Davis administration spent $10 million on travel and subsistence. Originally, $12.4 million was allocated for the entire fiscal year, but the figure has since been revised to $16 million. That number again increased when $3.6 million was reallocated from other line items. $2 million alone was reallocated in the Office of the Prime Minister.
The average salary of a Bahamian is $48,500 a year. That's average, okay? So in 6 months, this administration has spent the average salary of some 200 Bahamians.
Communications Director in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latrey Ramming, defending the recent $2 million increase to OPM's budget, saying the amount is consistent with the amount spent with the last 3 Prime Ministers. Meanwhile, the FNM chairman says the government has a priority issue.
The things that are important, that make a difference to the lives of Bahamians, they on that run. They busy balling. They want to fly in a private jet. They want to go first class.
Dr. Sands cited the accident and emergency department at the Princess Margaret Hospital that's still not opened, a lack of ambulances, and a low inventory of medication at PMH as greater concerns than government travel. The mid-year budget also saw the decrease of value-added tax on uncooked food in the grocery store.
Again, against the backdrop of a clear lack of prioritization about the concerns for the welfare of ordinary people, poor people, we can throw you a little bone, okay?
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks so much, Berthany. Well, the United States, as a global leader, has a position that has historically helped shape economic policies and much more. However, during our sit-down interview with RF Bank and Trust VP and Group Head of Investment, David Slatter, he noted that since President Donald Trump assumed office in January, there appears to be a change in approach. According to Slatter, the U.S. administration seems less inclined to embrace the role of global leader as it once did, adding that this shift could have significant implications for smaller economies like the Bahamas, and he explains how.
The current president has basically said, no, I do not want to be the global leader. I want to be the deal maker, but I want to unravel all of the, systems that were in place. And maybe it's a slash and burn, and then maybe it'll grow back better, but we'll see. So when you threaten, your key allies for the last 80 years, whether it's with tariffs or invasion, you are definitely, severing that sense of friendship and unity. So turning your back on Canada, turning your back on Mexico, turning your back on Europe, turning your back on NATO, siding with Russia over Ukraine, over the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, it really makes you wonder what are the underlying motives, and perhaps what are the underlying pressure points that are forcing this kind of decision making. Well, what do tariffs do? Tariffs basically, imagine you had globalization for decades, and what did that lead to? That led to job growth, that led to productivity gains, it led to lower prices. When you unravel that, you're going in another direction. Well, using tariffs, you're going to get the reverse. You're going to get higher prices. You're going to get less economy of scale, which means higher pricing. So what I see here, unfortunately, for the Bahamas is, imported inflation.
Well, a quiet Sunday afternoon was shattered for a 63-year-old Grand Bahama woman who was abducted by a kidnapper who had a knife, rather. Police say the kidnapper was no stranger to the victim. She knows the person. Here's what investigators say happened. The victim arrived at her home on Sunday and was getting out of her car. When she was confronted by the kidnapper, he demanded she get back into her car before making her drive to a local park. During that drive, police say the suspect stabbed her several times in the left arm. During the attack, she was able to jump out of the car before it crashed. Officers responded and arrested the 52-year-old suspect. The victim was taken to hospital where her condition is unknown. Well, police arresting a suspect in the robbery of a former parliamentarian and his wife during a roadblock. A Supreme Court jury heard 25-year-old Branville Hannah is accused of robbing Reuben Ramming and Natasha Ramming on August 13, 2021. At the time of the robbery, Ramming was the sitting F&M MP for Pinewood. They were robbed of $485,000, a cell phone, $485 rather, a cell phone and a watch outside of their home in eastern New Providence. Police arrested Hannah around 9:45 p.m. on the day in question when he approached a curfew roadblock at Burnett and Soldier Roads in a black Honda Fit. Police allegedly found an unfired .40 round of ammunition on the passenger seat of the car. Hannah, who is on bail, is on trial for armed robbery and possession of ammunition. He has denied the allegations at his trial before Justice Neil Brathwaite. 1 month after a devastating fire reduced a Kemp Road community center to rubble, the road to recovery remains challenging. Officials say while rebuilding efforts have begun, progress has been slow, and the center's essential services have been forced to adapt. Our Delvardo Emmanuel has the story.
It's been little over a month since flames engulfed the LJ Hilltop Community Center, and while the building remains a shell of what once was, its mission has not ceased. Despite the destruction, Apostle Laura Taylor and her team have continued to serve the community.
It's been very challenging, but we have stopped nothing. Some stuff has been downgraded. We have slowed down our afternoon classes. The children aren't coming, but we are still checking them one-on-one to make sure their work is completed and their term papers are sorted out, their book reports are all in place.
Taylor says the recovery process has been slow, as clearing the site only began last week, and despite the loss of the physical space, the organization continues to serve the community, relying solely on donations.
We have this attitude that whatever we have, that's exactly what we will use until God allows us more.
However, returning to the site in the aftermath of the fire came with its own challenges.
There were always smoke pockets, and then little fires started up, and there was a problem, and so we had to continue to wear masks. That was advised by the fire department. Continue to wear masks that we are back on the property, and we were just calling them, and they said, "We'll just rent the pockets, so they just out it. You know, it's not a big thing because they've done the bigger part."
Now, as she rebuilds her life's work, she now deals with the challenge of coping with the loss of a life partner. Her husband, Chief Inspector Peter Taylor, a man who dedicated 45 years of his life to the public service, passed away on the 21st of February.
He has been my right hand, and so without him, I had to really go hard to keep things going, to keep my normalcy, because I always tell him he's my safe place, and my safe place was disturbed.
As the community rallies to rebuild, Apostle Taylor remains steadfast in her mission. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
All right, thanks so much for that, Delvardo. Well, nice weather to start the work week. Hopefully this type of weather sticks around until the weekend. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and welcome back, everybody, for a quick check on conditions around the islands and outside our studios. 72 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. Your winds are out of the east-northeast at 15 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is a very cool and comfortable 70. Satellite radar composite. Ridge of high pressure building in behind a frontal boundary that is now across the southeast Bahamas. Some cloudy conditions as well as a few showers associated with that front still affecting the Inagua as well as the Turks and Caicos Islands. Front will continue to pull out towards the east. That high will stay with us until about Wednesday. We do expect another front to be getting in here by that time frame, but the air mass behind that will continue to reinforce the nice conditions we've been having over the last couple of days. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, the spotlight is on student talent today as the historic E. Clement Bethel National Arts Festival gets underway in New Providence. Students from across the island took to the stage at All Saints Auditorium to perform and heard from the Youth, Sports and Culture Minister, who shared some words of encouragement. Also, the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, teaming up with the Ministry of National Security, officially launching its Empowerment Hour program at the Nassau Village Community Center. We have the details coming up when our news continues. Stay with us.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise. Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Diet-friendly special.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large, or purchase a large salad with a Coke for a chance to win amazing prizes like a 50-inch TV and soundbar, a staycation at Comfort Suites, or a $3,000 Going Places travel voucher. Enter online at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page for a chance to win.
Every season, create.
The historic E. Clement Bethel National Arts Festival is underway here in New Providence. This morning at the All Saints Auditorium off East Street, students from several schools delivered impressive performances. Our news team caught several highlights from the event. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Mario Boleg was also on hand and addressed the group.
What this festival has done over the past 66 years is allow young people and persons involved in developing young people to harness their artistic skills, whether it's in performing arts, drama, whether it's in music, whether it's arts, just that we can preserve our culture and ensure that these young people understand the history from whence we came and who we are as a people.
And he adds it's important for parents to get their children involved in activities such as these.
In order for us to develop productive citizens in our society, we need to have positive, safe places and environment for them to partake in. And the National Arts Festival, Junkanoo, the sporting activities that come through my ministry and through the communities, through urban renewal, is things that allow kids not to have idle hands. And it's important that parents take advantage of these programs and try to implement around their kids and try to put their kids in these programs, because if we don't, they're going to find time to do things that is idle.
The Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, along with the Ministry of National Security, launching its Empowerment Hour program at the Nassau Village Community Center, all in an effort to assist inner-city residents and youth through professional training and after-school programs. A number of community leaders and residents gathering this morning at the recently opened community center, where it is hoped that lives are improved in the area. Social Services Minister Miles Arruda tells us how.
We know that our reach is greater and stronger with an intentionally combined effort. Through more partnerships like these, we intend to reduce the silos and duplication of services among government agencies and communities. Our ultimate goal is to build stronger families and communities through similar initiatives throughout the Bahamas.
National Security Minister Wayne Munro says not only do community centers fall under his ministry's portfolio, but everyone has a role to play in community building.
It is focused now in the Ministry of National Security, and we are intent on making the Prime Minister's words that the crime must be addressed as an all of society, all of government effort. It's our pleasure to partner with the Ministry of Social Services in this program being launched in this center.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, Hot 91 and Our News wants to get you to Jazz in the Gardens 2025. The festival happening in just a few days features an amazing lineup. Stay tuned for your chance to win tickets.
Coming up in sports, we've got the NCAA Indoor Conference Champs, a statement win for Coach Joe and Ole Miss headed into the postseason, and a check on JUCO hoops.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on my services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Troy Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Once I had a girl, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cleomie town.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate game.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. The NCAA Division I Indoor Conference Championships continued over the weekend, and Bahamian athletes were some of the biggest point winners for their respective programs. Let's get started in the Big East. DePaul Demetrius Rolls saw his stellar weekend conclude with a conference title in the 60 meters. Rolls set a new program record in the prelims and returned to lower that and win the final in 6.73 seconds. In the Southern Conference, Brendan Vanderpool won the pole vault for the Samford Bulldogs. He leapt 5.3 meters to finish first, and the Bulldog men won their 6th consecutive conference title. At the Conference USA Champs, Louisiana Tech sprint hurdler Oscar Smith shattered his previous program record with a time of 7.70 seconds to finish second in the 60-meter hurdles. Smith was just edged out at the line, finishing 1/10 of a second behind the eventual winner. Over in the Big 12, Antoine Andrews helped his Texas Tech Red Raiders to win their 3rd straight conference title. Andrews placed second in the 60-meter hurdles in 7.56 seconds and third in the 60 meters in 6.63 seconds. In the Horizon League, Brandon Hutchinson of Youngstown State helped the Penguins to their 10th consecutive title. Hutchinson finished second in the heptathlon with 4,594 points, the 5th most points in school history in the event. Coach Yo, Rima Collins, and Ole Miss pulled off a statement win in their regular season finale, their second win this season over an opponent ranked in the top 10. A dominant 54-point second half led Ole Miss to an 85-77 win over the number 7 LSU Tigers Sunday on the road in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The Tigers led by as much as 15 points early in the third, but that vaunted Ole Miss defense forced LSU into 23 turnovers, a single-game season high. Ole Miss handed the Tigers their first loss of the season, and it was their first win in Baton Rouge since 2010. At 19-9, 10-6 in the SEC, Coach Yo becomes the program's first head coach to guide them to 4 consecutive seasons of 10-plus conference wins. And now it's on to the postseason. Ole Miss will earn a bye in the first round of the SEC tournament and make their tournament debut March 6th against the winner of Missouri and Mississippi State. The JUCO basketball regular season is winding down, and several Bahamian players are looking to lead their teams into their respective conference tourneys. Brent Moss and the number 16-ranked Barton County Community College Cougars are closing out the regular season in dominant fashion. He finished with 16 points and 11 boards for his 14th double-double of the season, and the Cougars won 110-93 over Independence. They will take their 23-6 record into Wednesday night's regular season finale at 18th-ranked Coffeyville. Tyler Pinder and the Allen Community College Red Devils ended their regular season with a 112-86 win over Labette. Pinder finished with a game-high 29 points, 4 assists, and made 4 threes. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, Hot 91 and Our News want to get you to Jazz in the Gardens 2025. The festival will happen in just a few days and features an amazing lineup. Plus, sunny skies and pleasant conditions today, but could we see any changes as the week continues? Greg is back with the answer when Our News returns.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise. Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
The City of Miami Gardens presents JITG Music Fest. New edition. Tony Braxton, DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live, starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. Beanie Man, Escape, Coco Jones, Kem. Also, a special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest, March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.7 for your chance to win a trip to Jazz in the Gardens.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with Bulk.
This is our news. Welcome back. Frontal boundary now across the southeast Bahamas, plaguing that area with some cloudiness as well as a few isolated showers. Most of the activity will be pulling towards the south and east and away from us. Behind that, we have a high pressure system building in. That high is bringing in some nice refreshing air mass. So we're looking at some comfortable temperatures during the day and very cool temperatures at night. Once that high slides out across the area, we expect the frontal boundary to get in here sometime on Wednesday. That frontal boundary will be bringing us a few isolated showers. Low pressure system starting to take shape across the southeastern United States, Gulf of Mexico, that area. But that high will, like I said, continue to stay with us through about Wednesday's time frame. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with that boundary across the southeast Bahamas really pulling out there. Some spotty showers hanging up across the area, but we do not expect much in terms of any significant rainfall. But by Wednesday, we expect the frontal boundary once again to be getting into our area. That front should be across central Florida by the afternoon hours, should get into the northwest Bahamas by Wednesday night. Boating forecast, not good on the waters for the next day or two. We have an advisory posted. We're advising you boaters actually not to get into the waters, as well as you beachgoers. Your winds are going to be very strong, northeast to east at 15 to 25 knots. They will be gusting high at times. Seas very rough, 5 to 8 feet, but they will be up to 10 feet in northeast to easterly swells, mainly along the Atlantic exposures. High tide is at 10:39 tonight. The low tide takes place at 5:03 in the morning. For the southeast Bahamas, a caution flag in place for you initially for tomorrow, but that will likely become an advisory by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Northeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots. They will be gusting as well, but those winds expected to increase 15 to 25 knots by tomorrow evening. Seas 4 to 6 feet, but up to 8 feet along Atlantic exposures. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we'll keep a few showers in the forecast, with some of that moisture hanging around with that strong northeast to easterly winds. Frontal boundary getting in here on Wednesday evening, but by Thursday we expect conditions to dramatically improve. Look at that. Sunny conditions expected for the balance of the week. We do expect another front likely by the beginning of next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, Hot 91 and Our News are teaming up to get you to this year's Jazz in the Gardens, March 8th and 9th, featuring Lauryn Hill, New Edition, Tony Braxton, Beanie Man, and more. Be sure to listen in to Hot 91 weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the Jazz in the Gardens code phrase. Once you hear it, head over to Hot 91 FM or the Music Media 242 app contest page to enter. The winner receives round-trip tickets, hotel and concert tickets for you and a friend. And be sure to look out for the Our News team to tell us all about your experience. It's the Jazz in the Gardens Flyaway promotion. All right, sounds so exciting. And with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.